Hey, girl.
Hey.
I've got my favorite girl. Girls, my niece Olivia, and we have such a special connection. I feel like she's like my trial daughter. That's what I feel like. I feel like I tried. I think I made a lot of mistakes with you, but I feel like so I could get it right with Lee. For
Okay,
sure. For
I'll
sure.
take that.
For sure. I
I'm used
love
to
it.
being the guinea pig.
Yeah, you're definitely a guinea pig, but also the
Mhm.
first niece, the first daughter, the first granddaughter. So I feel like you got your shine, baby. You
Yes,
you don't need
yes.
that. You don't need that. Okay. Um. So I like to start like this. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
I'm Gucci. I'm blessed. Everything is everything.
Thank you for doing my podcast. I appreciate it.
I love to be
Um.
here.
This is two things can be true, and this is where we dig into people's why. I feel like our viewers, our listeners like to hear, what brought you to where you are right now. And I feel like you're a very complex individual, very creative,
Mhm.
and I feel like and you also have a job that requires you to maintain a certain level of professionalism, but
Mhm.
also balance the fact that two things can be true, that I'm a professional but I'm not my profession.
Right.
For sure. For sure. How would you define yourself when you think about that perspective of two things can be true, that you are a professional but I'm not my profession?
Yeah, so thankfully I get to work in an environment where I do what I love every day. So I get to create every day. And I feel like a part of what I do is like a pillar of who I am.
Yeah.
I love to give back. I love being around children and giving back to the youth and pouring into them and just giving them knowledge and game and wisdom. So, I mean, essentially I am what I do. You know what I mean? Because what I do is who I am. Like
Yeah.
I'm a teacher, I am a coach,
Yeah.
I'm a creator. So all of that is like embodied in what I do and that's who I am.
So
So,
let's back up because I feel like we jumped right in.
yeah,
Sometimes I be feeling like because I know somebody, I be forgetting that y'all need to know them too.
that's
So,
right.
so let me give her a proper introduction. So, today our guest is my niece. She's an educator here in Muscogee County. She's also a coach, a cheerleading coach, and a lot of you don't know, but she is a beautiful creator, a beautiful creator. When I tell you, from rapping to singing to filmmaking to being a content creator to just being a creative mom, I'm like that is probably her most coveted role at this point. But I do feel like all of those things pour into who she is today, and I'm so happy to have you here today, my niece, Miss
Thank you.
Olivia Foster. Okay.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you.
So now I give you your proper introduction.
I
Let's
love it.
let's get into it. Um, and I asked you how you are. You're
Mhm.
doing great.
Mhm.
Okay. What's new? What's new, baby?
What's
The
new?
last time I talked to you, you was my artist on Dom Deep.
So,
Let's catch the girls up. Let's catch the
okay.
boys and girls up.
Yeah. I mean, so technically I'm still an artist at heart. I
Uh-huh.
create. I create every day. I can be in the car driving to take my daughter to school, driving to work, and I'm recording voice memos on my car. So I'm always creating. I'm always producing something. I create every day at work. My students, I teach film.
Mhm.
So we are always creating. But I mean, I think the only thing that's new really since the last time we spoke is, me being an educator,
Mhm.
being a mom.
Wait, that's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's two things. That's two big things.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, I like to start like this, that if someone only knew you by your work,
Mhm.
what would they miss about who you are?
Mm. If somebody only knew me by my
They only
work,
knew you as a teacher. What are they missing about who Olivia is?
they would. Oh. They would miss how.
Let me just say too that we have a 3-year-old in the studio, so please, whatever is happening in the background,
And
I know Sam is over here having a heart attack. Okay, while we talk,
and so
while
am I.
while Laura's over here doing what she do. Okay, but
So
yeah, so let's get back to it.
what
But
would they
let's
miss?
have that disclaimer.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
So they would miss that's a good question. I mean,
Mhm.
what do you mean by that? Just break it down a little bit.
I feel like if people only look at me as an educator, they'll miss my creative side of that.
Yeah, for
The
sure.
the things that I create are for me. And by fulfilling what it is that I need in my personal life, I'm able to compartmentalize and give what is needed for my students. But
Yeah.
if I felt like I was suppressed in what I can express on the outside, that suppresses what I can give to my kids.
Right. So I think what people would miss is that outside of education,
Mhm.
I have actually lived a pretty full life. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? And I won't say just full, like I've done everything. I've been all around the world, but I've lived.
you didn't limit yourself.
I haven't, and I can say like I have real
We
experiences from
always been
like
free. I
yes,
feel like that is the epitome of us. Is that it's something when you've always felt the freedom to be you a
yeah.
little bit.
I've
Yeah.
always been that person who just, does what I want to do. If
Hmm.
that's in my mind to do, I do it. So I think that's what people would miss is that, outside of being a teacher, I've lived a different experience
Yeah.
before that. So we shouldn't forget the fact that I have other outside experiences before I decided to go into a classroom.
For sure.
Yeah.
And so let me ask you, when did creativity start showing up as a part of who you were, whether it was in the classroom or outside of the classroom? Like, tell me about that journey of Olivia to get to where she is to be so free with
Mm.
your creativity.
So I've always been a creative. You know that.
Yeah.
I think the first time I stepped into a recording studio, I was probably 11 or 12 years old.
And nobody knew.
Mm-mm.
And nobody knew. This
I
chick
would,
was had a whole career going on. Had flyers, had booked studio times with Blue. I mean, had done all kind of stuff
yeah,
before we even knew anything was happening.
yeah. So I've always, but I mean, even before
How
this,
did you know you could rap?
how did I know I could rap? Oh my God, I didn't know I could rap. I just was doing it and I would let people hear it and they would be like, oh yeah, that sounds good. And I'll be like, really? And I'm like, yeah, you need to keep doing it. And I'm like, okay. So
Huh?
then, people would be like, you want to come record with us? We have a studio over here. I'm like, okay, yeah, because before then it wasn't recording. I wasn't recording anything. I was just rapping to people and writing and,
Hmm.
but I feel like as far as just when I knew, I kind of always knew. I always knew I wanted to create something.
Hmm.
So if from being at my grandparents' house in New York and
Yeah.
being in their basement playing on the drums, not really playing anything, but just making a bunch of noise,
Hmm.
going through old records, reading old books. I remember my grandparents' basement vividly. They had a bar set up, and behind the bar, there were records and books. And then they had a pool table and
I love their downstairs. When I
yeah,
tell you, I found a pair of Marcel curlers down there. Like
right.
it's just all it's like
A
a
nostalgic
smorgasbord
of nostalgia.
of
And yeah,
nostalgia.
like you
Yeah,
go down there and you can find like 5 different decades in
of
their basement,
music on
everything.
vinyl, on
Mhm.
original vinyl.
Their
Yes,
their their basement is like
is the
a
basement.
it's a black culture museum.
Yeah,
So to
for
say,
sure, for sure.
you don't know what you're going to pull out of there, but I think that was like my first creative space.
Yeah,
So and then from there I just dibbled and dabbled and just, found.
and you used to hang out with me. Don't play.
Let's not forget that.
Don't
Let's
play.
not forget that because I think that was one of my biggest flexes. Like, oh, my auntie is Frankie Foster on Foxy
No,
105.
Francine. I was
Oh,
Francine. I
you were
was
right. You were
yeah.
Francine Foster. My aunt is Francine Foster. You heard her on the morning show with Michael Soul on Foxy 105. Yeah. And I
Not a
mean,
flex. I love that
that was
though.
the biggest flex because literally I would ride the bus to school the bus driver would have the, Foxy 105
Radio.
playing, and this my auntie. This is my auntie. Y'all don't
And
know
the
this.
birthday shout out.
And but see, they didn't believe me, and so I had to, but still, that was my biggest flex.
Okay.
And then of course, my other aunt, your other, Rudy, she
Always
used to
creative.
always was creative. I think the first time the second time I went into an actual real studio was with Rudy, and I watched her record, and I was like, okay, yeah. And I want to say, I think that was the first time I went into a studio.
You know what though? I still play your song. What is it? Last Wishes or I can't remember, but it's when I tell you I could pull it up right now. I literally could pull it up right now.
Yeah.
I love that song. I listen to it sometimes, and I wish I could put it on my Apple Music, but yeah, I still listen to it.
Yeah. So
yeah, that's on my playlist.
I think everybody, we come from a creative family.
Yeah, for sure.
My grandmother, your mother, she put out music. She had a whole gospel album.
Yeah.
So I think it's just like in our DNA. Your father, he loves playing the piano. My grandfather.
Now he don't need to be singing. We've all determined that Foster don't need to be singing. We've all determined that.
We're not gonna tell him what he can't do. But he has a creative,
for sure.
And but
he has a very good appreciation of music. He definitely taught me to appreciate music.
Yeah. So I think that's where it comes from.
I love it. And so I know that. What made you think that you could start a radio station? This girl started a radio station at 12. Well, how old were you?
No, I wasn't 12. You were
a little older. Yeah.
I was in high school. I was probably a sophomore, and I did that from my sophomore year up until my freshman year of college.
I looked up one day, and this girl, this is in the beginning of podcasting. When podcasting, we didn't even know what to call it other than she had created an online radio station called Dom Diva Radio. And you had guests. You had Roscoe Dash on your show. Girl.
And I was this close to having Travis Porter. But some kind of way, the deal didn't work out, and they didn't come.
But they were communicating.
They were communicating
through MySpace,
and no, through email, sweetie.
We were emailing.
Okay, and no, I was trying to get them to do like some charity, come down to Columbus and take some girls to prom. That's what I wanted. That was the vision I had. Like, would y'all accompany some girls to prom?
And then you were gonna have a promotion. She was in high school.
And I didn't even want them to take me to prom. It was for other students.
It was for other girls.
Mind you,
baby,
because
not a girl's
my
girl.
date was.
Girls girl.
I was thinking, like, the girls who don't have a date, Travis Porter should come and take them
on the date.
But they were like, yeah, no.
Or it just didn't work out. They were like, no, but it just didn't work out.
Yeah, they wanted something that I didn't have, which was money.
I
didn't have no money.
I didn't tell. Let me see how real you are. Okay.
So yeah, but
it's the thought that you were already in that pocket of not just creating something, but also making it something that benefited other people. And I feel like that's super special too.
Yeah.
So if you had to describe, you talked about your full life, and that is when I tell you we have only scratched the surface of her full life. But I'm gonna leave that to her book.
We're not gonna get too deep.
Yeah, we're gonna leave that for her book.
Yeah.
In your 40s. But what I will say is that I want to hear how you would describe this current stage of your life, this current season that you're in.
This current season is called surrender.
Oh.
Yeah.
Why?
Because
Why?
I really just have to surrender to what it is. I can't have too much control. And I am, like my mother, a control freak. My mom's a control freak. She likes to control everything.
But we love her.
We do
love her so much.
And I think I get that from her because you want things. They say if you want something done right, you have to do it yourself, right? And so a part of me is like that, where I feel like it's only going to be done right if I do it. And so what I'm learning now is like, no, you have to learn how to delegate. You have to learn how to surrender and just give into what it is and be okay with it. And no, everything is not going to be perfect and just, cookie cutter clean, but it is what it is, and you'll be okay.
You'll be okay.
You're not going to die. you know.
Nobody's dead. Nobody
Yeah, but
died.
did you die? No.
But did you die? For sure.
So
And I don't know,
that's where I'm at.
girl. I'm
She doing her
this
thing.
has to be your I was gonna ask you about your proudest accomplishment, but I know what you're gonna say. So
Mhm.
let's just talk about the the toddler in the room, not the elephant in the room, but the toddler in the room. So how has it been being a new mom and maintaining who you are as a young woman, as a woman who's becoming?
Honestly, being a mom has been healing.
Hmm.
It's been healing for like my inner child. So I have been learning so much about myself in this journey of motherhood.
Oh yeah,
And my daughter, she's so like, I don't know, she's just connected to a higher being, where she teaches me things,
yeah,
and I'm like, girl, just lessons that I would have never received if
hmm,
I didn't have her. And so just being more patient, taking my time, and the way that she and I communicate with each other.
yeah,
Although she is 3,
hmm.
she's literally been communicating with me since she was like 6 months, 7 months old.
I feel like
Truth,
maybe even in the womb.
yeah, for sure in the womb.
Yeah.
But I think, like, since she's been born, just real quick, true story.
Hmm.
One day I was taking her to school. She's been in daycare since she was 8 months old because I have to work.
Yeah.
And so, one day I was taking her to school and it was dark outside. So it was like cold, it was dark, early morning, and she was trying to tell me something. She was just like, and I wasn't listening. We get all the way to the school and I realized her shoe is off. She has one shoe on.
Uh-huh.
Okay. That's what she was trying to tell me. Like, ma'am, my shoe has fallen off in the process of getting in this car.
Right.
But of course, she wasn't able to verbally articulate that, But I'm like, she's always communicating with me in some
Yeah.
kind of way. And so I think what I've learned is just how to be patient and
Mhm.
listen because me, like on my own, I'm just a very fast paced person.
Yeah.
I don't really slow down. I'd like to go, 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 go.
Mhm.
And I think that's one of the things that I've struggled with in motherhood is like you can't just get up and go. You really need to take your time. You need to plan. You need to be organized. You need to structure your life. You need a system in place.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think that's the biggest thing.
So as you become a mother, because you weren't a you were expecting when you
Mhm.
started teaching, but then you came back from maternity leave, and now you're juggling being there for your students, being there for your own child,
Mhm.
being there for your cheerleaders, being there for
Mhm.
all these different roles. What was that experience? What was that journey like? Just going from being, I only got to think about Olivia to I got all this other stuff to think about.
Yeah, I mean, it really helped me realize how selfish I was as a person.
Wow.
Yeah, because,
How so?
when you live by yourself, for a long period of time, I was an only child for 12 years, you know that. You
Yeah,
know what I
yeah, yeah.
mean? But so that coupled with just being very hyper independent
Mm-hmm.
since like the age of 17, I feel like once I had to take on the responsibility of not only my child, but the responsibility of other people's children
Mm-hmm.
and making sure that I'm handling them with care.
So let me ask you, how does balancing being a new mom, being a coach, being an educator of 6 periods? You have 6 periods? I know I have 6 periods.
I
That's
have 5.
five.
But yeah.
Okay. But how do you balance all of that and what the amount of Olivia you give in
Mm.
those moments?
So I just try to remember that, I can't pour from an empty cup.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, and then I try not to do too much. You know, the whole purpose of me being in the classroom is to teach, to educate. So if I'm up there doing more than the students are doing, then I'm not doing my job, you know? So I try to just,
And that's a hard balance, especially
yeah.
I feel like as teachers we deal with, I had a whole lesson on this the other day, weaponized incompetence. You taught me that term.
Mhm.
You taught me that term of weaponized incompetence.
Mhm.
talk about what is weaponized incompetence.
Weaponized incompetence is when someone tries to manipulate you by pretending to not understand how to do something. They
Mm.
use their lack of incompetence as a weapon so that you will do what they don't want to do.
What does that look like in a classroom?
So in a classroom, let's say you give students an assignment,
Mhm.
okay? And you can say, well, for me, I teach film. So I might say, hey guys, we're working on post production now. That means you need to start editing. You need to go and find some sound effects. You
And
need
you've
to,
taught them these things.
I've taught you all of
I've
this.
taught you these things. Okay.
And then it's, Miss Foster, how you edit? I don't know how to edit.
But they got TikToks going up every day. But they got TikToks going up every day.
But see, the thing with the TikToks, and I give them grace with that, is because
Hmm.
a lot of the students use CapCut.
Okay.
CapCut does post production for you.
Hmm.
It puts together the transitions and all of the edits and all of the effects for you. So if that's what you're using to edit, then no, you don't know how to edit
Okay.
because you're using a tool that edits for you. But manually going in and adding effects, adding transitions, making a video look clean, that's a different skill set
Yeah.
than
Well, let
just
me tell you this from somebody who uses CapCut, but who learned on.
Bring your mic in.
okay.
No, leave it out there.
Uh huh.
And then when you start talking, just bring it in a little bit. Because it's just, it doesn't look right.
Okay.
Okay.
So
It's
is
not
it
talking at all. See,
Maybe bring it
you
down a
said
little
hers
bit.
is just,
so like this?
yeah.
Yeah.
So push it back out. And when in the middle, while you listen, just bring it in a little bit. Okay.
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 I was gonna say that from somebody who learned on SVHS tapes how to edit, and then trying to go to the new CapCut. I feel like once you know the concept, just for you as an educator, they know the concept, because if you're using CapCut, it's the same concept of actually going in and cutting. You're still, using your creativity, because it may auto cut somewhere that's not where it needs to be,
Right.
but they need to just bring it back a little bit. So
Right.
I feel like maybe that may be the disconnect, because I feel like there is a correlation to using something like CapCut to actually having to get into an Adobe, or
Hmm.
so yeah, so I think that's a that might be a connection they might need to make, but yeah.
I think the main thing that I have to remind myself of
Mhm.
daily is that I am teaching a generation of students that is they are a generation of consumers.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
They
Yes, yes.
consume, 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 consume. Whereas, we grew up in a generation of we produce,
We produced,
you know,
and we had people in our that were entrepreneurs, that were people that were, like you said, producers.
yeah.
And I feel that too in high school. It just, even since I've been teaching marketing these last few weeks, in our classroom discussions, I hear that, so like that is something that resonated with me. Tell me your thoughts. Let's go deeper. Let's unpack that a little bit of what do you mean by that they are consumers?
So they sit on their phones and their tablets all day
Mm,
and they consume media. They don't know how to analyze what they're consuming. They don't know how to form opinions about what they're consuming
mm.
because they are consuming other people's thoughts and other people's opinions. So they're just piggybacking off of what the majority are saying instead of rationalizing and thinking and analyzing and coming up with their own ideas and their own interpretation of things. So they are literally
Baby.
consuming all day.
Yes.
And so, where I teach film, outside of just teaching them how to produce film, I also have to teach them media literacy
Oh my gosh.
and how to interpret media and
Mhm.
how to understand what you are consuming and how what you are consuming impacts your
Your
perception of the world.
yes.
And see, they don't view it like that. They look at a video and say, "Oh, this is just entertainment."
Hmm.
But they're not understanding how what they're being entertained by is affecting their psyche and their
And their
subconscious.
actual core values.
Yeah. in their overall guiding principles.
Yes.
How do you make decisions based off of what you are influenced by? They don't understand that.
What are you learning now being a single mom, being a mother to your daughter, also being a teacher, also being a coach? What are you learning about being enough even when you cannot do it all?
So I'm learning to say no because a part of me has always been like wanting to please people's expectations of
Mm,
me. And so right now I'm just in that season where I'm like, no, I don't have to live up to your expectations of
right.
me. No. If it does not fit into my schedule or what I, want to do, no, I don't have to do it.
And no with a period, not with a question mark. Like, no,
No, a period.
no, no.
Exclamation mark.
Exclamation
Exclamation
point.
point. Exclamation point if you want to. But no,
Okay.
it's like a solid no.
Yeah.
Because I think there's a beauty in saying no because you are I feel like we as women, particularly black women,
Yeah.
we feel like we have to always be like super hero, super mom, super whatever. And no, we don't have to.
We don't have to because no one else is having to.
Right.
So why are we showing up with our capes on, being Captain Save 'em?
Mm-mm.
Okay, we're not
And
saving
I
nobody.
just feel like my energy is reserved for me
Yeah.
and my child, and I just
And
feel
then you
like,
choose when you want to give it to the other. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, for sure.
yeah.
I love that. So if you could finish the sentence, two things can be true about me as a teacher and a creator. How would you finish that?
Two things can be true for me
About me as
about
a
me as a
teacher
teacher
and a creator.
and a creator. So, as an educator, you have to be creative,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
And as a creative, you have to learn. And
Mm.
so, in order to learn, you have to teach yourself sometimes if you don't have someone there to teach you what you need to know.
I love
So
that.
you are teaching yourself while you're teaching your students. My students teach me sometimes more than,
All the time.
yeah.
All the time.
So two things can be true. I'm a student and I'm a teacher, and I tell my students
Oh,
that all
I love
the
that. I
time.
love it. I love
Yeah, I
it.
tell my students that all the time. Like, y'all, you want me to do your work, but I got homework to do too because I'm in school too.
You're in school
I
too.
can't do your work for you. So
And we didn't talk about that.
yeah.
What is your background?
So I have a well, excuse me, I'm getting a master's. Let me just speak it into
But you speaking
existence.
into fruition.
I
I
have
love that.
a master's in workforce education from the University of Georgia.
From the
The
University of Georgia.
University of Georgia. I have a bachelor's degree from the illustrious Fort Valley State University
State
because we are
University.
HBCU made.
Yes.
Okay. And so my bachelor's in mass communications with a major in public relations.
Mhm.
I think that's what really got me like going and got my wheels spinning.
Well,
For
you was
real.
doing it before then.
I was doing it
You
before
was doing
then,
it before then.
but I tell you, it took one professor.
Mhm.
She really like woke me up because once I got to school, I kind of lost focus of what I was doing before I went to college.
Right.
And I had stopped doing the Dime Diva radio and I had stopped doing everything. And I put more focus on wanting to be an artist than I wanted to be just in media, period.
Mhm.
And so I remember my first few years of my first 2 years of undergraduate, I was flunking out. I was about to get put out of school,
Right.
because I just wasn't mentally there.
I think we all went through that though.
Did we?
We did.
I don't know
Let me
because
tell you, I've been on academic and financial aid probation so much, I should have handcuffs. And I should have a plaque behind me like she survived.
yeah.
Well, let me tell you a quick story.
But wait.
Wait, I'm going to tell you a quick story real quick.
Okay.
Because Anita, who's over here to the side, I was on academic probation one time at CSU. And she told me, she said, everybody got a boss. And I said, she was like, do not let the people put you on financial aid probation. She was like,
Right.
you go up there. And she said, everybody got a boss up there. She was like, so if you talking to one person, you ask to speak to the next person. She said, until you get your money for school. And that's what got me through school. That's literally what. So yes, we have all been there trying to
I
balance
think
it.
that's
Yeah.
what my advisor at the time was for me. She was my Anita because
Mhm.
when I went to go get my advisement, she looked at my transcript
Yeah.
and she said to me, Olivia, you need to get your life.
Get it
You
together.
need to get your life. And I didn't even know this lady. I'm like, you don't even know
You
me.
don't know me.
But from that moment on, and then I had her class like the rest of the time I was in college. So
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, she really like woke me up. Like,
Mhm. Who is
yeah.
that? Do you remember her name?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Shots of Spikes. Right now she is in Atlanta.
Mhm.
She is the marketing communications director for the city of Atlanta. Like
Period.
she's always
Period.
been like major. You know what I
The
mean?
major girl. She was a
She's
girl.
always
that
been
girl.
that girl.
That
Okay.
girl.
And what she was doing for us at Fort Valley was just like her giving back. That wasn't what she needed to do. It's just
Right.
something she wanted to do. And I'm so thankful for her. Like she
I-
really, you know.
That's really
Yeah.
what got me into education is having women like that. For me, it was Dr. Nikita Harris at CSU. When I tell you she got me all the way together one time, she
Mhm.
got me so much together. I had to go home and like think about I'm mad at her. That bitch. That's the way I look. That bitch.
Yeah.
And I got home and thought about it. I was like, she's right.
Yeah.
She's absolutely right. And I'm like,
Yeah.
that's how you get to that next level. If you don't have a woman, and it's not always somebody in your family, sometimes it's somebody that you encounter out. And that's
Mhm.
why giving back and being in the community is so important because you don't know who you are to that girl.
Yeah.
And for me and for you, that one, the woman who was your mentor, and for me, it was Dr. Harris. And it's like it's so important. That's why it's important to give back. And I think that's what being an educator does. It almost puts you in a place to naturally give back day to day.
For sure.
For sure. For sure. Anything else? What do you want anybody to know about you? Oh, tell them how they can find you on social media because you do the content situation. So let's talk about that.
So my handles on social media,
You can place the camera now.
Okay, so Facebook, Olivia Simone, TikTok, Word to Live, Instagram, Word to Live, and that's pretty much where you can find me.
Ma'am.
And I always have this little one, so she's
You here now?
yeah. She's
Okay,
like,
come on.
what's up? Hey, girl, don't come over here
Girl.
with that baby talk. You better talk
You
like
better
you know how
talk.
to talk.
You're done? Okay. Okay.
She's trying to get me to do something in that phone, but
All right. Well, we're gonna end right there. Thank you so much for joining us. And like I said, this has been amazing and definitely full circle. What is it? How are you? You good?
oh girl.
Where is her hand? Your favorite place to go in Columbus
Oh,
in your spare time?
as far as like restaurants or just
Whatever.
my favorite place to go in Columbus. Dang.
But give your favorite business a shout out.
It's not even here no more.
Oh, what is it?
Honestly, it's and I can't even remember the name of it. It's been so long ago, but it was a tea shop right on Broadway.
Oh, I used to. Oh, we
Girl,
love that.
yes,
With
and
the vegan hot dogs. Oh my God, it was so good. What was the name of that
I
place?
don't remember. Okay, but if I had to say
Okay,
relevant
somewhere that's here
now,
now. Yeah.
I would say my favorite place is Taste of India.
Taste of India. You always got something going on with
I
some curry.
love Indian food. I can eat Indian food all day.
If you could move anywhere, what city or country would it be?
It would be Johannesburg.
Oh, yeah. Why? What is it in Johannesburg you want to see?
I really just want to be in the motherland. I feel like Johannesburg is one of those like bubbling like cities in
Yeah.
Africa or countries in Africa. And so I want to just experience that.
I'm the same. I'm like, I want Ghana.
I want Ghana. Okay.
Yeah, I think I want Ghana, and I want to do Dirty December.
What is it again?
Dirty December. I wanna go.
Dirty December.
Dirty December. So if there's an
Okay.
African man out there and you looking for
Oh,
single or attached?
ugh. Attached but single.
Wait, what does
I
that
want to
even
like
mean?
I want see I like to be attached, but I don't like the possessiveness that comes with being with someone. Like don't feel like you own me. I don't
Unpack that.
we don't have to talk every day.
We do not have to talk every day.
because
And that's friends too.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't feel like I need to check in with you every day,
We're
especially if
grown
we're
up.
not married. If we're married, that's different. But if we're just dating, don't feel like you're obligated to my time and my conversation and my energy every day.
I think about it like if you're with somebody, like what makes you be to the point that like, oh, I need to check in with him every day. What does it take for you to be like, I need to check in with this person?
Nothing. Nothing.
When I tell I love this. When I tell y'all are so ruthless, you and Lydia, my daughter, y'all the 28 to 35 age group, you all are ruthless and I love it. I
I
love
used
it.
to be like that. I used to be like, oh, we gotta talk every day, all day, go to sleep on the phone, wake up on the phone. But now
Yes.
I'm just like, I don't care. You could be doing everything. You could pay every bill that I have in my name, and I still will be like, don't don't feel like you're obligated to talk to me every day.
Right. Because you haven't put a ring.
You haven't secured anything. Nothing is secure.
Look,
Nothing is
I'm like,
secure.
listen,
And I feel
I'm
like a
like
quick
Cardi B.
a quick good morning, how you doing? How's your day? Okay, cool.
Cool.
But when you start doing just a little too much, I'm like, we need to relax.
Well,
Thick crust,
yeah, corner pizzeria.
stuffed crust with cheese, if you asking me.
Ew.
Garlic sauce. To
You are not
dip.
from New York.
No, I am, but I mean, if you're asking me, I like a stuffed crust with cheese, garlic sauce, garlic butter on the crust, marinara to dip the crust in the dip. I'm extra.
You have been colonized.
Easiest meal to cook is spaghetti.
Yeah.
Best meal to cook is no.
No?
Best meal to cook is like pot roast. I love pot roast.
Oh, I do too.
It's so comforting and just like, you just put it in the oven.
It reminds me of grandma too.
Yeah, and you make some collard greens with it and some good cornbread. Not like Jiffy cornbread, but like
Not Jiffy
whole
cornbread.
cakes, water bread. Like,
Water bread.
yeah, and you put the carrots and the celery and the potatoes and the pot roast.
I think we are the countryest city girls out here.
We are. That's okay. We
Country
have a
city
good
girls.
duality about ourselves.
We have a very good duality about ourselves.
Everybody can't do that.
Everybody can't do it.
Everybody don't have that duality.
And that's exactly what we're talking about today.
Two things.
Two things. Say it.
Two things can be true.
Two things can be true. Okay. We can be country, but we city girls.
Period.
If you could tell anyone anything about yourself that they did not know, what would you tell them?
I am not to be. That's what.
Let me add to that caveat. Amen. Okay.
Period. Don't fuck me. Okay.
If you think I'm ruthless 2.0. I love it though, because I feel like you have to have those boundaries. You got to have those boundaries. Speak on that. What are your boundaries? What are your non-negotiables at this stage of your life?
My non-negotiables: do not feel like you're entitled to me. You don't possess me. You don't own me. You don't own me.
Don't talk to me crazy.
Don't
talk to me nice.
To me nice. Talk to me nice. And I had to say it so vulgar because, people feel like you give them a little bit of time and a little bit of energy that you are, supposed to do that or they're entitled to that. Don't feel entitled with me.
Not.
I don't care what it is that you're doing or what it is that you've done. Don't feel entitled. Don't get too comfortable. In the words of our great philosopher, Future, bitch, don't get too comfortable. Okay? Don't get too comfortable with me. Don't feel like you're entitled to anything. Don't feel like you can fuck with me.
And we're going to end right there. Okay.